That's okay. He has his own channel, so I would assume he still isn't in control of the new pitch meeting channel. No, probably not. But he probably makes a better cut of the money now that there's a channel dedicated to just the stuff he puts out. So, at least I hope so for him. I realized I wasn't recording the stream, but that's okay, because I probably wouldn't be able to upload what we just watched anyways because of copyright things. So. I hope he makes good money off of them, because he's the only reason they get any fucking views, so. And I'm not even sorry to say that. I'm not sorry to say it at all. Yeah, I'd hope so. I hope he did. He deserves it, because he's fucking hilarious. I do wonder how much control he has over the creation of the pitch meetings. Like, does he write them, or is there a team? I imagine there's probably a team that writes them, but writes and edits them. I doubt he does all of that himself at this point of the channel. I do love that the... So sorry. It's not a Nico stream without a yawn. That this channel was created the end of February. It's been a few months, and we're at almost 1 million subscribers. I love that. I love that for them. And look, even the shorts get a fuck ton of views, which the other channel does not have. Huh? Very interesting. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm wondering as well. How big is the team? Alright. Am I the asshole? Time. Let's do this. Am I the asshole for speaking Italian to my girlfriend's rude Italian-American family and embarrassing them? Oh, of course. Okay, 1 second. Phone call. Sorry, that was the doctor call I've been waiting for like 2 days. Of course she called as soon as I started reading the fucking post. But that is okay. I would like my testosterone prescription, so I'll have to call. Do you think we can check Kroger after voting? I don't know if they'll have it ready by then or not, but we also have packages and stuff to return, so. Or, well, I do. I don't know if you have any to return. I have several packages to return. Thought it would be something medical. Indeed it was. ETA? What do you mean? What do you mean ETA? Oh, this. Sorry. Let's just start over. Am I the asshole for speaking Italian to my girlfriend's rude Italian-American family and embarrassing them? ETA, there may have been some confusion as to my girlfriend's reaction. Okay, we'll read that after. Backstory. Due to my dad's job, we lived in Italy for 3 years when I was younger, so I speak Italian almost fluently. It's been a while, so I've lost some of it. Recently, I started dating a girl. She's great, and I love her so much. I met her family a few nights ago for dinner. She warned me that the male side of her family is very big into being macho, into testing the boys the women date, and are very big on taking pride in their Italian ancestry. I think besides the grandfather, however, they were almost all born in New Jersey, but whatever. It's nice to take pride in one's heritage. Long story short, at dinner, they kept making jokes at my expense. I honestly would not call it bullying, just things about my height, beard, and shaved head. They tried making fun of my IT job too, but stopped once I told them my income. It was overall not a bad experience, but not a pleasant one either. Anyways, her older brother kept pushing things, giving me exceptional amounts of shit for playing lacrosse in high school. Apparently, it's a sport for pussy rich kids and not manly like football or baseball. Have they seen lacrosse? Do they have any idea what it feels like to get hit with a lacrosse ball at high speeds? Like, that shit hurts. Lacrosse fucking hurts, man. That's why they have you wear pads and shit. He ended his rant by saying, hey, we're just a big Italian family. We're loud and tell it how we see it. And all the family except my girlfriend laughed. So I, for the next minute, responded to everything they said in Italian. My girlfriend buried her head in shame. The grandfather laughed, and everyone else kept looking at each other confused before telling me they didn't speak Italian. I replied, then don't use your Italian heritage as an excuse to behave poorly when you can't even speak the language. Oh, that's so cringe. Oh my god. That'd be like me being like, I'm Irish. I'm Irish because there's Irish in my bloodline, and me like making that my entire fucking personality when I've never been to Ireland. I don't speak any languages that are spoken in Ireland outside of English, and like they got mad, but the grandfather told them all I was right and to be quiet. Granddad coming in clutch. My girlfriend isn't mad, just ashamed. I think the grandfather likes me, but word from my girlfriend's sister is that all the men are furious and think I'm a smartass and that I disrespected them and their masculinity in an unforgivable way. What I would give to be in that room for that moment. Beautiful. I don't know what ETA means, but there may have been some confusion as to my girlfriend's reaction. She was ashamed her family dug so deep into me, not about my response. After wanting to die for the next 48 hours, she agreed I did the right thing and that it was funny. And that is everything. That'd be like, I don't know if it's like the same, because like if you grow up Hispanic in a household, like most people who grow up Hispanic that I know of, anyways, personally, people that I know, they like, I know several people who grew up in a household where their parents mostly spoke Spanish, so they speak fluent Spanish, right? And obviously, being Hispanic, and in the specific instance, I'm speaking about Mexican. That's a big deal. That's a big part of people's heritage. It's a big part of their culture, and it's a big part of how their family functions and behaves. But everyone in the family speaks Spanish, and the ones that don't speak Spanish are not shy about mentioning the fact that they don't speak the language, that they've never learned it for whatever reason. And I think it's so funny that this whole fucking family is got a big dick when it comes to being like, we're Italian, and then they don't speak Italian. You can't make it your whole personality and then not speak the language. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's amazing. Iconic, honestly. The granddad knows it. He probably half rolls his eyes every time they say they're Italian when he knows he's the last speaker. You shut them down in the most epic and appropriate way possible. Your girlfriend should be proud, flaunting that her boyfriend is more Italian than any of them. Granddad, if granddad's on your side, then you're covered, so. The pure savagery from what you said and did is so golden. You totally won the heart of your girlfriend's grandfather. I wish I had that kind of grandfather, but mine is an asshole. You and her girlfriend are lucky to have each other. Sending good vibes. Not the asshole. It sounds like the boys were hoping to put you through a hazing ritual and you weren't biting and and put them in their place. Grandpa approved. Yeah. I feel like if you're dating someone and their grandparents approve of you, I feel like that's far more important than their parents approving of you. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the grandparents are just so much more important, especially in a culture like an Italian culture. Like, that's like a respect your elders type culture. And the fact that granddad was like, y'all need to shut the fuck up. He's right. You know? Beautiful. Beautiful. What a great start to this Reddit for the day. Am I the asshole for refusing to punish or allow my wife to punish our son? This all started back in March. My son's best friend turned 13. In his family, 13th birthday is a huge deal. In addition to a massive party, which all four of us were invited to, his parents also took him to Disney World. Ooh, like a quinceañera type situation, except not quinceañera because that's 15. I wonder if that's like a culture thing. I don't know everything about every culture, obviously. What culture is it that really does 13 big? I don't know. Maybe it's just a specific family thing. Maybe it's not a culture thing. I don't know. Not relevant, but you know, they invited my son to attend as well. My wife was hesitant to consent to this. She said it was unfair to allow our son to go when our 9-year-old daughter can't. No, it's not. No, it's not. Your daughter's not friends with the son's best friend. The daughter wasn't invited. The daughter needs to grow the fuck up. Especially since she loves Disney and princesses. I said that our kids won't always have the exact same opportunities, and if we set a precedent here, we'll have to stick to it if and when our daughter gets a similar opportunity, so we'd just be punishing both our children needlessly. My wife reluctantly agreed that we should allow our son to go. Correct. I gave our son money to buy his sister souvenirs, and he did. His friend's parents even bought extra stuff for him to give to her. Still, when she saw him come back wearing a Star Wars shirt with the Mickey hat and trading pin lanyards, she burst into tears. My wife later said that we made a huge mistake and should never have let him go. Well, maybe teach your child not to be a little pussy baby bitch, okay? You know, like, she's fucking 9 years old. This is not acceptable behavior. I mistakenly thought all of this was behind us. Now we are not well off financially, but my brother-in-law is, and he invited all of us to visit beach house he rented for the summer send-off. My wife told me she wants to have our son stay with my dad and just take our daughter to even the score. I told my wife that isn't happening. We are their parents, and we can't favor one child over the other. Not being invited to a birthday trip of a kid you barely know is in no way comparable to being left out of a family vacation, and I'm shocked that she would even suggest such a thing. I refuse to allow it. Now my wife is angry, but I don't care. I'm not punishing my son for being lucky. Yeah, no, not the asshole. Your wife's just a fucking dumbass. Your wife sounds like she has a clear favorite out of the two, and she isn't afraid to show it. Of course your son should go on the vacation with you. I'm shocked she would want him to miss out. Yeah. It sounds like the wife is just a fucking idiot. I don't think this is like a divorce your wife type situation. I just think she needs to not be an idiot. You know what I mean? When your daughter doesn't make varsity volleyball, will you pull your son from varsity baseball and punish him for making varsity previous year too? How about when your son makes partner but your daughter doesn't? What about when your son has kids and your daughter miscarries? What will your wife do then? Yeah. When the son gets into college and the daughter didn't, and it's pressure to forego his education in the future. Yeah, it's really, really dumb type of logic. I should have enough charge just walking to get some ibuprofen. Had an earache for the last 2 days. We'll be calling the doctor tomorrow if it still hasn't cleared up. Yeah, that's probably for the best. Ibuprofen is good, though. Ibuprofen is great. Not the asshole. Die on this hill. You were 100% correct that your kids aren't going to receive the same opportunities in life. The daughter has to learn how to handle situations like this in life because she's not always going to be treated the same or have the same opportunities as everyone around her, and she needs to learn to handle that with grace. Also, this is your family inviting you, like you said, not a child's friend. Your wife shouldn't be excluding your son from his entire family, which is just awful. Let your wife be angry. She's completely out of line. What a strange reaction, honestly. I'm going to go back and give this post. Can I reward the post? How do I reward it? Award. I got a free award for the day, so we're going to give silver because this made my day and it was the first one we read. So okay. Am I the asshole for calling my brother a quote disgusting gross man at his daughter's birthday party? My brother Paul and I are not close at all. We have very different worldviews and have incompatible personalities. I could tolerate him, but I would never consider him a friend. He's been married to Lisa for 1 or 2 years now, and they have a beautiful daughter together. My girlfriend Amy and I were invited to celebrate my niece's first birthday. Most of the family was invited, and it would be the first time I would have seen them all together. I only see my family once or twice a year, with a few exceptions. Amy and I arrived a little earlier than we were supposed to, and instead of waiting in the car, we decided to go in. First thing I noticed is how calm my brother seemed to be, in contrast to Lisa, who was frantically running up and down. When he saw Amy, he immediately handed the baby over to her and got a beer to sit down and watch TV. Lisa was clearly struggling, and he was content with a beer and Netflix. I don't want to be rude, and maybe this is a one-time thing, but it bothered me how uninvolved he was. He handed Amy a baby with a full diaper and vomit on its clothes. Eventually, Amy, Lisa, and I finished everything. The house was clean, food was ready, and Lisa looked ready to host a big gathering. We all paid zero attention to Paul. When my family arrived, I thought everything was going well. I avoided Paul and enjoyed speaking to my family. After we had sat down to eat, Paul approached me drunk, thanking me for helping Lisa. I did not want to be around him for long and moved out of his way. He was very persistent. I was ignoring him, but he started talking about Amy, protect Amy like a real man, or you've got a great woman by your side. You know what, whatever. It was slightly odd and mildly uncomfortable, but I was able to brush it away. Amy was trying to sober him up a little bit before the cake cutting, so she was selectively hearing. We tried to get him to stop talking and drink some water. However, he had a lot to say about Lisa. He was complaining about how pregnancy ruined Lisa's body and how a baby ruined his life. Amy and I kept looking at each other awkwardly, and we were soon going to have to leave him be. We didn't leave the conversation soon enough. He was complaining up to be about his sex life or lack thereof and commenting on how desperately he wanted to have sex with someone fit like Amy. This made both of us extremely uncomfortable. Amy left, quickly apologizing to Lisa. I told him that he was a disgusting, gross man who needs some fucking help before I left. Apparently, this made him super upset and started wailing at the party. Paul told everyone that the reason he was crying was because of my words to him. He got over it quickly, but a few people told me I was wrong to shame a father on his child's birthday. Absolutely not. This sounds like a shit father and a shit husband. She needs to leave him. She needs to drop him. This man was not fit to be a father and is an alcoholic. So, the thread is not locked due to excessive rule violations. LMAO. Father. Lol. Okay. Your brother cannot be bothered to help his wife prepare for his child's party. One time thing or not, it is not acceptable. Then he handed his baby over to the first available woman to deal with a diaper and soiled clothing. During his child's party, he made remarks about how the child ruined his life, ruined his wife's body, and compared her now ruined body to someone he finds more attractive whom he'd prefer to have sex with, his brother's girlfriend, to put a cherry on top. You are not the asshole, and he should be ashamed of himself. I hope Lisa figures out how to leave him. Yeah. What the fuck? You shamed an unsupportive misogynist at a child's birthday party. You should reach out to Lisa to see how she's doing. Is she okay with him talking about her like that? If she wants some help putting his stuff in boxes, that sounds like something to rally the people who care about Lisa over. Yeah. Amy told Lisa all the terrible things he said about her. Lisa didn't seem too upset, though. It was said over a phone call, so I can't properly get your reaction. She sighed and quickly changed the subject. Maybe she's heard it before, or maybe she doesn't want to dwell on it. I'm not sure. Lisa needs to get out of that. Oh, wow. Okay. Breaking the rules, I see. Tell everyone what he told you, especially his wife. Yep. His wife should divorce him. I fully agree. Horrible, horrible man. In the bin. In the bin. Put him in the bin. Ooh, we have an asshole one down here. Okay. Am I the asshole for getting angry when my partner announced she's pregnant? Ooh, juicy. My partner, 34, female, and I, 28, male, have been together for 5 years. She has a daughter, 8, from my previous relationship. Right off the bat, it was made known I had fertility issues and likely wouldn't ever be able to father a child. I moved slow with the relationship, although I had fallen in love with her fast. When things got serious, I overheard her telling her sister she was concerned that I might be an aggressive type person because of the amount of scars I have. I didn't want her scared away, so I told her I had a bad childhood and left it at that. Weird. A little over 2 years into our relationship, I felt somewhat comfortable opening up for the first time and told her exactly why I'm infertile, which is a direct result of an injury I suffered due to trauma as a child. She was really empathetic, and I was just thankful I'd found one to spend my life with that also just came with a kid I adore. Fast forward to last summer. My partner and her friend decided to play an impromptu prank on me. I came home from work. There were multiple positive pregnancy tests in the bathroom. My partner announced she was pregnant, and I started freaking out. A happy freak out, because I thought I'd hit the lottery with the slim to none chance I have. They both started laughing. The tests were from my friend and not my partner. That's fucking rude. I was pretty much devastated and felt let down that my partner would actually pull a prank like that. At first, she was shocked at my reaction and said, I thought you would know it was a joke considering your circumstances. She ended up apologizing after realizing how hurt I was. Well, at least she apologized. That's good. Now for the point of the post. 3 weeks ago, she arranged a huge dinner with her entire family at her house. She had us play this stupid mystery game and ultimately announced to everyone that she's pregnant. Her mother and sisters were deliriously happy. I immediately got pissed thinking this was yet another prank, so I showed absolutely no emotions, which everyone caught on to. I said to my partner, either you're just mentally disturbed or you're cheating. That's pretty much when all hell broke loose. My partner's POV is that she was sincerely apologetic about the prank, and I should know her well enough to not think she'd ever pull that stunt again. She's also livid at me for ruining the announcement and embarrassing her in front of her entire family. Okay, sorry, I need to pause for a second. If she's actually pregnant, she should have revealed that to the husband individually and not in front of family. Like, the husband, aka the father of the child, should not be finding out at the same time as the rest of the family. You could have just told him beforehand and avoided this whole situation and been like, no, I'm serious. This is not a prank. This isn't a joke. I wouldn't do that again. This is legit. You could have had an actual conversation with him individually, especially since you know this is a touchy topic for him. She just doesn't seem to be, like, I'm glad she's apologetic about the prank. I do think he overreacted a little bit. I think he could have been like, are you really pranking me again? Or something a little bit more tame than you're mentally disturbed or cheating. But I feel like this, but it's an anti-abortion family. I mean, I would imagine, yeah. But like, I feel like, yeah, okay, let's continue. She's also livid for me for running the announcement, embarrassing her in front of her family, causing them to think I'm a horrible person, and then finally insinuating that she's a cheater. I still stand by my claim that had she never pranked me, my reaction would have been different. I do find it odd that she decided to tell me along with her family. Things would have likely went over better had she told me first and then we announced it together, but I'm starting to think I acted immaturely, causing a scene in front of her family, and I think that's maybe where I'm in the wrong. I think the only way you'd be in the wrong is the aggressiveness in which you reacted, but I understand why he would have reacted that way after she pulled that kind of fucked up prank. How long was it in between the prank? Last summer versus 3 weeks ago. So like a year in between the two. That prank was just beyond cruel, and then to announce it with everyone and not tell you privately is insensitive and immature. Your reaction to be expected. I see both these as red flags for your relationship. Congrats on the baby, though. Sure, you'll have doubts until a paternity test happens. I'm pretty sure it's mine, although I can't be 100% sure yet, but I certainly hope so. Yeah, I'd go for the paternity test just as like a, well, you pranked me with this shit, so we're gonna do a fucking paternity test. I don't think this is like a dropper type situation. I think this is you need to sit down and have a conversation with her directly type situation, because the prank was incredibly fucked up, and then to not tell him that she's legitimately pregnant before telling the rest of the family is really stupid and fucked up. And his reaction is completely justified with those two prior things taken into account, and considering his history and his known infertility. Yeah. I wouldn't say run. I don't think this is a run situation. I think this is a situation where, although she is significantly older than him, so maybe do run. But, and by significantly, I mean she's in her fucking 30s. She should know better. This isn't like a young couple or something where they're both early 20s or some shit like that. It still wouldn't be acceptable, but it'd be more understandable. She is the boy who cried wolf. How stupid of her. Yeah, honestly. She owes you a private conversation about all of this, then to announce it to the others. Only when both of you are ready. Yeah. Absolutely. I think most of these comments are just going to reiterate what I said. The prank was cool. Cruel. Sorry. The prank was cruel no matter what you thought. An actual announcement was another prank. I'd get a paternity test ASAP after the kid is born. And in the meantime, seriously think about if you want to stay attached to this woman. If you do, the two of you need major couples counseling. If you don't, and the kid is yours, I try fighting for full custody. If you don't, and the kid is not yours, then get out. I think that's so fucked up. Because, yeah, his reaction probably would have been completely different because he said he was super excited when he got pranked so that she was pregnant. He was super excited because he was like, this is a fucking miracle. I didn't think this was even possible because he's, you know, infertile. And his likelihood of getting someone pregnant is incredibly fucking low. And he said he was very excited during the fake announcement. So yeah, I think if the prank had never happened, he would have been so over the moon, and the actual pregnancy reveal would have been a really big, fun, exciting time. But she really fucked that in the ass by playing a really fucking cruel prank. Really cruel. Yeah. Telling OP in front of the family feels very strange. Yeah. That's really fucking weird. Not the asshole. I don't know if I said that or not. We have one labeled as asshole. Am I the asshole for serving fake meat and pretending it was real? My two daughters are vegetarian, but my husband and son are not. I'm probably what they would call a flexitarian, so not a vegetarian. Flexitarian is not a thing. I'm just gonna start this off by saying that is not a thing. A flexitarian, for those who don't know, is someone who eats meat sometimes, or eats only certain types of meat, aka not a vegetarian. My son and husband always turn up their noses at tofu or any other meat alternatives. They say it's just weird, and it's made to resemble real meat, so it's really the concept, not the taste. There are no allergies. My family and I often make 2 versions of dinner, one meat, one real, and twice the amount of pots and pans. There's an equal distribution of cleaning and cooking in the house, thankfully. My daughters had a fun prank idea of making 2 pots of spaghetti sauce. Under the pretense that one was meat, they were both soy ground beef. Under the pretense that one was meat, they were both the soy ground beef. The goal here was to see if their brother and father actually hated the meat, and to see if we could maybe save some dishes and time in the future. I thought they said the daughters are vegetarian. Oh, to see if the husband and son could even tell the difference between the fake meat and the real meat. Is that what this is? I think that's what they mean. Everyone loved dinner. Both husband and son finished their plates. This was when my youngest couldn't hold it in anymore and told them. They both got very upset about being fed something other than what they were told. Am I the asshole? I mean, the husband and son aren't vegetarians. So why does it matter? It's not like she fed the daughters real meat under the pretense that it was fake. And also, serving someone fake meat and not telling them is, like, not a big deal, in my opinion. Like, if you feed me a veggie burger and you don't tell me it's a veggie burger and I really fucking like that shit, great. I've had veggie burgers before, did not enjoy it, but I know there's a lot of different types of veggie burgers. Like, I don't think this is an asshole move, but I think this is just a weird situation, and it's a bit of an overreaction. But we're also hearing it from the side of the quote-unquote assholes, so let's see what the comments have to say. This is not really a meat eater versus vegetarian issue. Tricking someone eating something other than what they thought they were eating is a massive breach of trust. The fact that the substitution is harmless is irrelevant. That your aim was clearly to shame or embarrass them over their dietary preferences does not help. It doesn't sound like it was a dietary preference. It sounds like it's just them being snooty. Because there are a lot of times where the fake meat tastes exactly like the real meat. And if the 2 daughters are vegetarian and the mother, who is a flexitarian, meaning she only eats meat sometimes, then yeah, it could save money and cleaning and time if the other 2 just, ate the fake meat that actually tastes like the real meat, Both were soy ground beef. Isn't that just beef? I don't know. Yeah, I don't. It's not the same as the other way around. I personally don't feel like it's the same the other way around. Um, because people are vegetarian for a lot of different reasons. Some people are vegetarian because of dietary restrictions. Like I know a number of people with IBS who are vegetarian to help with their IBS. So feeding them real meat under the pretense that it's fake meat could really fuck with their digestive system. And for people who've been vegetarian for a really long time, eating real meat after eating fake meat and no meat for such a long time can genuinely fuck with your digestive system. It is not the same the other way around at all. It is in no way the same the other way around. Yeah. Exactly. It is not the same thing the other way around. Yeah, it's just a thought experiment. It's not I don't think this is an asshole move. I just think this is a stupid situation. Yeah, I agree with this statement here. I think it would have been better if you made a bet with them beforehand to try and see which one is real meat. The way you would have that way you would have had their consent. Then you could have made both non-meat and it been like, haha, it's a prank. But yeah, they also just seem insecure. They weren't able to tell the difference and reacted immaturely. People react badly when they're forced to confront the idea they were wrong. Yeah. I think this is a weird situation. This was sort of fun. Am I the asshole? I wanted some juicy assholery. I thought we were gonna get a genuine asshole. I don't think this was an asshole move. I just think this is a weird situation to be in for everybody. Okay. Ooh, that's a juicy title. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my brother meet my son after what he told me at my husband's funeral? Juicy. My late husband passed away from a car accident when I was 4 months pregnant. It's been difficult without him, but my family did so much to support me, and I moved in with them a month after. At the funeral, my older brother asked for a minute to talk and then asked me if I really wanted to go through with my pregnancy. I was shocked when I heard this, but even more shocked when he suggested that I, quote, make the right decision, not an emotional decision, and reconsider having my son. She's 4 months in. Okay. He gave many reasons why, including the fact that how single such widow moms are considered too much baggage for so many men to date. I lost it on him and kicked him out. That was the last time we saw each other. That's so fucked up. She's 4 months pregnant, at which point, especially now, in most states, an abortion would not allow that to happen. Also, this is clearly a child she wants. Why wouldn't she want to have the child of her now dead husband? I don't know if they have any other kids, but this could be like the last piece of him she has or some shit like that. Is this brother or brother-in-law? It's just your older brother? That's so fucked. It's fucked regardless, but like... My son is now 3 weeks old. The whole family met him and were happy to welcome him. My parents asked if I could let my brother come meet my son, even for a few hours. I refused, but they said I was making a mistake, robbing my son of a future loving relationship with his uncle. They asked that I don't let my emotions dictate a decision that might have a lasting impact, but I said no. My extended family got involved and started pushing, especially after my brother started insisting, saying my husband was a dear friend of his, and what I'm doing right now would make my husband upset if he saw it. I don't know your husband, ma'am. I don't know him. But I don't think your husband would put up with that shit. I don't know him, but if he was a good person, he would not put up with this shit. You are not the asshole. Your brother is a fucking dick. Every time he says how much of a dear friend he was, remind him of that talk from his dear friend's funeral. You don't have to allow anyone in your child's life that you don't want to. That includes your family. Your brother has said some pretty awful, tactless things while you were at the fucking funeral of the father of your child. I'm assuming he also hasn't bothered to apologize, but still feels he's entitled to have a relationship with your son and has no problem emotionally manipulating you in order to get what he wants. You are not the asshole here. Tell your extended family that the discussion is closed, and anyone who brings it up again will not be seeing your son for a long time. If and when you want your son to have a relationship with your brother, you will let him know. Yep. He told you to get rid of your baby because he would be a burden and not a joy. He is not someone to let be around a new life. What a callous and awful thing to say when you're well within your rights to deny him. Yeah, not the asshole. Kick your brother out. Get him out. Ooh. Aw. No, I wanted to read it. That was a juicy title. Oh, fuck. God damn it. Okay. This is a spicy title here as well. Am I the asshole for throwing my siblings in foster care so I can have a better life? Okay. I have roughly too many siblings, and even more step-siblings. Between my parents and my latest stepfather, we have 8 kids living here. Myself, 19 female, 3 half-siblings on my mom's side, 15, 11, and 9, 4 step-siblings, 14, 12, 9, and 6, and 1 full sister, 6. Things have never been particularly good or stable, but now we're at rock bottom. My mother and stepfather are going to be going away for a long time, and everyone is in a rush to get all these kids into homes. I am the only one who's over 18, so everyone wants me to do it, and I don't want to. That's not your responsibility. I got an opportunity. My grandmother on my father's side has offered to have the youngest 6 female, and I move in with her and even pay for me to go to college. The thing is, she lives several states away. I talked to social services about this and got the answer that I could move 6F without a problem because our parents were able to voluntarily give me guardianship of her, and I am her full sister. The rest I could only take in if I stayed in the state because it would be a full foster care placement. That makes sense. I'm sorry, but being forced to stay here would destroy my future. I could definitely survive, but I think I would be stuck in this horrible place working paycheck to paycheck. I could never have a real life. I made the obvious choice. The social workers were nice enough to arrange it to where 6 female and I weren't just standing in front of them during the pickup, but obviously they know exactly why they're now in care. The 4 of them that have phones have been texting and calling me nonstop, some of them for help and some to just scream at me for abandoning them. I know the system is going to be really bad for them because of where they are and their ages, but I just can't do it. I can't blow this, and this is mine and 6 females' first chance for a real life. I feel like I owe it to both of us to take it. Am I in the wrong here? The kids and my mom think I am. My grandma thinks I could have done something, but I can't say what and wouldn't let them in her house, even if it could happen. The only person who doesn't think worse of me is 6 female who says she likes the quiet, but obviously doesn't know the full story. I don't think it's your obligation to ruin your whole fucking life because your parents are fucking assholes and bad at what they're fucking doing. I think if you're not capable of taking care of that many kids, you shouldn't fucking do it. And it's not fair of you, at 19 years old, to be in charge of 8 fucking children. Between my parents and my latest stepfather. My mother and stepfather are going away for a long time. What does that mean? Are they going to jail? What does that mean? Well, they're going away for a long time. What does that mean? Not the asshole. Your siblings should be mad at your parents, not you. Yeah. And they'll understand it when they get older also. You know? I don't think the step sibling who's 6 will have any issue getting adopted. 6-year-olds can get adopted pretty easily, but all the older ones will most likely age out of foster care, unless they happen to get lucky and find a family that takes all of them in. But they'll only be in it for a few years, and it's not the 19-year-old's responsibility to take care of them. She didn't give birth to them. It's not her fucking responsibility. She didn't adopt them, and so it's not her fucking responsibility. I know for a fact I wouldn't fucking do it. You didn't abandon your step-siblings. Your mom and her partners did through their choices. The simple fact is that they're not your kids. You're barely an adult, and you got the opportunity for a better life for you and your sister, and you took it. It sucks that the other kids don't have that type of support available from their grandparents, but that is not on you. No way in hell you should be responsible for 8 minors at the age of 19. Yeah, I'm having a really hard time imagining the judge or CFS official who would sign off on that arrangement, even if OP was willing. Like, because in order to adopt, you have to prove that you are able to financially support those children, and at 19, there's no fucking way she can afford to raise 8 children. No, not the asshole at all. Absolutely not. Okay, I, 15 female, and my mother's 35 female, only daughter. Okay, sorry, I need to read that again. Am I the asshole for I responded to my mom when she said I wasn't invited to her wedding? I, 15 female, am my mother's only daughter. She's 35 female. She has from her previous marriage. She has 3 children, and the rest being 18, 16 boys. This is important to know. Okay. Last week, my mom was talking with one of her friends about the color she wanted the bridesmaids' dresses to be. My mom has been planning this wedding with her new boyfriend. Sorry. For the past 2 months or so. They've been engaged for about a year, and the wedding is in December and on the day before my birthday. She and my mom have been planning a party for me around the same time she was for the wedding. She insisted it was all right and that her boyfriend would go on their honeymoon the next day. While she was talking, I asked her when we were going to look for my dress, since she had asked me to be the flower girl. At 15? That's weird. I could see the disappointed look in her face when I asked her, which confused me. She responded only a few minutes later and said, "We'll talk about it later." A few hours later, my mom came to me. I thought she was going to talk about the dress situation, but instead she sat me down and explained how her new boyfriend thought it'd be a better fit for their 3 daughters to lead the wedding. However, I was cool with that, but it's important to note that my mom had always wanted all girls. I was a girl, but I had looked too much like my father, which caused a strain in our relationship. Ew, your mother's ass. My dad explained to me how my mother had postpartum when she had me and just couldn't connect with me because of it, which is fair, but blaming that on the fact that she looks more like the father doesn't make any sense. So when she gave birth to my 3 younger step siblings who all looked like her, triplets, 6 years old, she was obviously overjoyed. There's 6. Why are you gonna make a 15-year-old your flower girl? That's so weird. Make the triplets the flower girls. What the fuck? She was obviously overjoyed, and it hurt to see, but I was happy for her. My brothers had a similar experience, but were significantly better because they looked more like her. Your mother sounds incredibly vain. I know this is an overdramatic thing to say, but sometimes I feel like because my mother didn't feel as connected with me at birth was because I was a letdown right out the gate. It sounds like your mother's vain as fuck. After she was done, I asked her again about the dress because I still didn't have one. Again, that same disappointed look on her face came before telling me I wasn't invited to the wedding, simply because her boyfriend thought I would upset his family because I was from my mom's previous marriage and he didn't like my dad. So are neither of the brothers invited either? She also explained how my birthday isn't happening either due to him wanting to go on their honeymoon right away, so it turned into a screaming match with me yelling, "I'm sorry I don't look like you enough for you to love me. I'm sorry you're too conceited for you to get over the fact that I look like my dad." I was kicked out by her boyfriend within the same hour because she'd cried to him about what I said. All my brothers know what happened and have now refused to go to the wedding, which upset her even more. The fact that she wasn't invited because she's from the previous marriage and the boyfriend doesn't like her dad should apply to the brothers too. If it was like it'd still be fucked up, but at least if it applied to all 3, it would be less fucked up. It'd still be fucked up, but it'd be less fucked up. I'm glad that your brothers are standing with you on this. All my brothers know what happened and have now refused to go to the wedding, which upset her even more, though I don't care how she feels right now. My brothers had an actual relationship with her, and I probably just messed it up by letting my anger get the best of me. Am I the asshole? Edit, I live with my dad full time. There isn't any custody agreement that I know of. I usually visit my mom on my own free will or when she asks me to come over, so I'm not obligated to go over there. My parents were only married 2 years prior to having my second brother, divorcing after his birth. They dated after the divorce as a way to make up with each other, but it didn't work out. But they had me. All my brothers are full blood. The girls my mom had are half-blood. I said step because I don't consider them to be related to me because I've never been in the room with them for more than 5 minutes due to my mom not allowing it. Your mom sounds like a piece of fucking work. My brothers were only invited because her boyfriend actually likes them, and his family getting pissed that I'd be there was an excuse to exclude me. I honestly don't care anymore about the situation, seeing as how my brothers have my back. As for my dad, he's been threatening to call CPS, but I've talked him out of it because I don't want to get the 3 girls involved despite there being no relationship. Wow, your mom sounds like a fucking jackass. In any way, shape, or form. No, not the asshole. It makes me so sad for you. Your mom, on the other hand, and her fiance are major assholes. This is super messed up, and I'm glad you have the support of your brothers. Your mom is only upset because you confronted her with the truth. Yep. She's literally choosing a man over her child and not taking up for you just because you don't look like her. So fucked up. That is inexcusable. Absolutely. That's just so fucked up. I didn't want to click on that, but thank you. That was a lot. That was a lot. Your mother is a major ass. And seems like the kind of person you should just cut out of your life completely, to be honest. I'm sorry I'm yawning so much, but if you've been here before, you understand that's just part of the stream. That's just part of the stream. Genuinely though, if there's ever a stream I make it through, I'm not trying to go to that. I don't want to go there. Thank you. What the fuck? Okay. Fuck off, ads. Okay. Probably time for 2 more, I think. Luckily, I don't pick up on the yawns too often. Yeah. If there's ever a stream that I get through without a yawn, it'll be a fucking miracle. So. Okay. Oh, nope. Gotta read the title first. Come on, Nico. Get your shit together. Am I the asshole for saying, I told you so at my sister-in-law and brother's wedding? This is an asshole labeled one, so it might be juicy. I, 27 female, have known my sister-in-law for 3 years. She's the type of person that always needs to be right and needs to be in charge of everything. She's very demanding as well. My sister-in-law's family members are very disrespectful and rude. They don't clean up after themselves and expect everyone to act like maids or servants around them, and they think very highly of themselves. They can never be wrong and think they can do no wrong. It's a great start. Because of this, my sister-in-law's family don't really punish their kids, like they have no consequences. They aren't even like gentle parenting type either. My sister-in-law's sister has a son, and he's extremely chaotic. He throws tantrums if he doesn't get something, and he has to be the center of attention 24/7. When there are birthdays, he needs a gift or opens the gifts and needs to blow out candles. It's frustrating, which is why I'm not usually around the family gatherings and stuff. How old is this son? Because my sister was the same way about blowing out candles. It wasn't about gifts or anything. She just wanted to blow out the candles, and they always had to like let her blow them out first and then relight them to let whoever's actual birthday was blow out the candles. Otherwise, she'd throw a fit. But it was only about candles, and she grew out of that pretty young. I think like 6 or 7. How old is the child? I really want to know how old the son is, because that would make this that would affect my feelings on this last paragraph here. It's just frustrating. Yeah. Okay. Can I not yawn for 2 seconds? I was my sister-in-law since her friend canceled. I was my sister-in-law. I think there's a typo here. What is it trying to say? I was my sister-in-law's something, maybe? Since her friend canceled on her and I was helping make invitations, I saw one of the names were the sister-in-law's nephew. I asked if she wanted him to go, and she said yeah. And then she asked why, and I told her why. I talked about his tantrums and how he'll probably throw a fit during the reception and other stuff. She got mad and said that she didn't know what I was talking about. She told my family and her sister, which caused her sister to write me a message saying how I was wrong and other stuff like that. Well, the day of the wedding comes. Everyone is happy except nephew. He's crying and is about to throw a fit. When my sister-in-law came out, he literally started screaming. The poor pastor had to stop and wait for the parents to leave. During the after party, he was back again and crying. When they were cutting the cake, he screamed loudly, extremely loudly. He pushed my sister-in-law, who was holding a glass of wine, and it spilled on her. She started crying. She turned around to leave, and I looked at her and said, I told you so. She started crying even more now. When I got home, my mom called me extremely immature, and she wants me to apologize, so am I the asshole? I don't think so. Her nephew is 9. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Yeah, why is this labeled the asshole? You were not the asshole here. You tried to warn her, and she didn't fucking listen to you, and shit went to shit. You know what I mean? When I went on Facebook, I saw a long post from sister-in-law's sister. Basically, she's saying that sister-in-law knew how her nephew was, and how if she didn't want him to throw a tantrum, she should never have invited them. She also called sister-in-law selfish, saying she should have offered nephew to cut the cake with her. Sister-in-law's family also agreed and called sister-in-law selfish. So I went over to sister-in-law's house with a bottle of wine. She told me I was right and how she had never invited them. I still apologize, though, because I did kick while she was down. I've offered to pay to get her wedding dress cleaned, but she said that it was fine. Why are people labeling you the asshole? You're not the asshole here. The asshole is the sister-in-law's family. What the fuck? No, I do think it was a bit no, I don't think. I mean, yeah, maybe kicking while she was down wasn't great, but she apologized, and the sister-in-law doesn't seem to mind at this point. Um, yeah, got mad at you for trying to save them from wedding drama, then you were proven right, and now it's suddenly not okay. Again, bad timing, but I love the pettiness. Absolutely. I don't think the assholes. I don't think OP is the asshole. I just don't. All these asshole labeled ones we've read today, the two we've read today, haven't ended up being assholes. The asshole here is the sister-in-law's family. I'm saying not the asshole. It's you're. It's really more like you're a justified asshole. You raised your concerns. Your sister-in-law ignored them, which was fine. Then she told you were wrong, which you weren't, but that's fine. Then she told her family, who sent you messages about how could you say that about my child, which was really wrong. And then your sister-in-law spread your warning to the family, who then messaged you. This entitles you to say fuck you. You were wrong. I was right. I told you so. Justified asshole. Absolutely. Not the asshole. You warned her. It happened. Her sister is a shitty parent, which makes her nephew a shitty kid. The fact that the child is 9 and this behavior is still occurring, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. If the child was like still toddler type age, that would be understandable. But this child is 9 fucking years old. That is unacceptable behavior from a 9-year-old. Wow. Okay. Not the asshole or justified asshole. Like those are the only two options here. You are not the asshole. Ooh, and everyone sucks. Exciting. We're getting a nice variety in today's run. Usually it's all not the assholes. Am I the asshole for not caring for a child I said I wouldn't care for? Throw away for privacy. I don't know what that means, but okay. I, 28 female, am child-free. I don't even really like kids. My sister, 23 female, Amber, has a kid because it's a pretty close-knit family. She's pretty used to everyone pitching in to help. She said she was going out for a few hours and was stopping at my house to pick up a package delivered to me by mistake. We have the same street number on similar-sounding streets. Think like 25 Hirsch versus 25 Hurst, so this happens pretty often. When Amber got to my house, she put down her kid and said, "Thanks for watching him, by the way." I asked her what she was talking about. She said she was thanking me for watching her kid as well. I said I never agreed to it and was not okay with that, but she said we're sisters, family helps family, and ended up leaving. So I didn't. I left the kid right in my entryway where Amber left him and just went about my day. I didn't leave the house or anything, but I said I'm not a babysitter and I wasn't one. Amber got mad at me when she came back 4 hours later and the kid had a full diaper and was crying when he saw her. I told her what I said I wasn't watching her kid, and she's lucky I didn't call the police. But Amber said that not wanting to babysit doesn't mean you don't do it. The entire family sides with her, and Amber says she's cutting me off until I apologize and make more of an effort with my nephew. I've gotten nasty messages from relatives galore, and the only one who doesn't think me is arranging bitch is my dad, who doesn't involve in family drama. I do love my sister and understand family is family, but am I really the asshole for not doing a job I expressly said I don't want to? She literally said, I'm not going to watch your child. Why did she leave the child with you? She said she was going out for a few hours and was stopping at my house to pick up a package. Okay, so she was planning to go out and just decided to drop her child on you with no forewarning, with no clue of what you were going to be doing in the day, and just expected you to watch her kid. And then when you said you're not doing that, she left the child with you anyways. How old is the child? You don't leave a kid unsupervised for 4 hours to prove a point. Inexcusable behavior. I mean, sister doesn't get to dump a kid without consent. You don't leave a baby in his own shit to prove a point. Everyone is the asshole. Everyone but the baby. mean, the child doesn't need to eat for 4 hours. Like, kids, you can go without food for 4 hours. That's not a big deal. And he was in a diaper. You can sit in your own shit for a few hours. It's not a big fucking deal. Nothing bad happened. He just had a full fucking diaper. It's not a big fucking deal, in my opinion. I do think maybe, like, keep the child with you in whatever room you're in, so you can at least make sure they don't fucking die. But, like, that is so fucked up for her to just leave her child with you with no forewarning, with no permission. Like, what the fuck? I agree. I think everyone's the asshole here. It wasn't on the porch. It was in the entryway. It was in the house. If we're being literal, what the baby did was shitty too, Lamau. Can I help you?
I'm just done with work.
Oh, you're done with work. You quit this? It's not even...
I wrapped up what I was doing. There's no point in sitting there for 6 minutes.
That was quick, Jimmy. That was a quick response, though. Bitch literally just walked in the fucking room and you're already like, oh, are we done?
I mean, you can keep going. I don't really care. I just wanted to let you know. So we can go vote whenever.
Uh-huh.
I wrote down the amendment stuff on
You left the door open. It's
Sorry.
cold. Thank you.
I wrote down the stuff I researched on a sticky note, so you...
My cheat sheet.
Yes, you have a cheat sheet. I mean, they told me I could bring a cheat sheet, so... Well,
so why can't I?
They sent it to resident of this. So...
Oh, yeah. It works out. I said 2 more. When did I say 2 more? Oh, I said we would probably have time for 2 more. It's not 5 o'clock yet, so we have time for another one. Ooh, a spicy title. We love a spicy title. We've had quite a mix of them today. We've had not the asshole. We've had asshole. We've had everyone's the asshole. We've had justified asshole. It's been a nice batch today. Am I the asshole for telling my coworker I will cover up my shoulders when he starts wearing shoes? Very interesting title. I'm interested to see where this goes. My workplace doesn't have a dress code, so everyone dresses very... I'm sorry, he doesn't wear shoes to work? Not the asshole. We can move on to the next one. I really hope that you're not saying he doesn't wear shoes to work. Today I was wearing a top with thin straps and long pants, and my shoulders were showing. One of my coworkers, Brian, of course his name is Brian, was giving me angry looks all day. When I finally asked him what his problem was, he told me that he thought better of me than to dress in barely any clothes to work. At that moment, Brian was wearing pretty short shorts and was barefoot. He dressed like this the whole summer. The office is carpeted. He only puts on his slippers, and if he's going to the bathroom or the kitchen. I told Brian I'll start covering up my shoulders when he starts wearing shoes to the office. If I have to watch his hairy toes at work, he can deal with the sight of my shoulders. Ooh! He doesn't wear shoes to his office job?
That's gross as hell.
I don't care if there's no dress code. Put them dogs away. Put the dogs away. Not even sandals? Like, he doesn't even have... Like, he just puts on sandals to go to the bathroom. Oh my god, this is infuriating. He needs to put his dogs away. Gasp, you have shoulders. And who the fuck goes barefoot to the office? My instinct was correct with the first sentence. Yeah, going barefoot is way weirder and more unprofessional than bare shoulders. But her shoulders turn him on and make him think about the fact that she has breasts. They're called porn shoulders for a reason, or so Mormons tell me. Do you have any extra pearls? I can't find mine to clutch. Oh my god. That's... Oh. I can't believe no one's called him out on that before. Is the rest of the office just okay with him having his feet out? Sir, you're at work. Put those away. You're not at home. Put the dogs away. That's disturbing. That might be the most disturbing thing I've ever read. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine going into your workplace and one of your coworkers not having their shoes on?
I I can imagine one of my coworkers taking her shoes off for a minute because she wears high heels, but not just walking around.
But she has socks on, right?
Not socks.
Or like
but
tights or something.
I can only imagine her having her shoes off when she's actively sitting down.
At her desk.
Put them back on.
Yeah, she's not spreading her dogs to everyone else, you know?
No.
She's just chilling at her desk.
Yeah. And I don't think she would do that, but
granted, your workplace has more of a dress code type situation, but if someone showed up in jeans and a t-shirt, no one would fucking say anything.
No, one of my coworkers shows up in a t-shirt all the freaking time. I mean, he's a man, but like...
You could show up in jeans and a t-shirt, no one would fucking say anything.
None of our bosses are there. I wore a sweatshirt to my meeting with my boss today, and she didn't give a shit.
But they would give a shit if one of you all walked around with your fucking feet out. Because that's fucking weird.
I mean, they wouldn't know because none of the bosses work where we
That's
work,
true. But I would hope some of your coworkers would be like, can you put some fucking shoes on? I can smell those from over here. Like, Jesus Christ, huh? Ooh. This feels relevant to me. Am I the asshole for holding a grudge against my dad who took my step-siblings to Paris but not me? Do you know why I feel related to this story?
Because your family just took a girls' trip to the beach?
Yeah, my family...
I dreamed your parents took me to the beach last night.
I mean, it'd be more likely than them taking me, so... my family loves to go on vacations with my sister without inviting me. I get it, I'm an adult, but, like, I'm still their kid, so... Whatever. A few weeks ago, I learned from my stepbrother's TikTok that my dad, stepmom, and 2 stepbrothers are in Paris. I was staying with my mom at the time. I, 16 female, would have loved to be there, but they didn't even tell me what they were going. Rude. I immediately sent a text to my dad asking if they're enjoying their time in Paris, and despite reading it, he did not reply until late last night. He then tried to play dumb and said it's great and he wished I was there. Yeah, me too. So I replied that he could have taken me, and he said it wasn't possible, and we'll talk about it later. And it's not even like you're grown. Like, at least I'm grown, so it makes sense that, like, my parents don't call me up and be like, hey, you know, they don't know that I've been unemployed all summer. Like, you know, and our situation is different because our relationship's kind of strained. It's not just, like, some random shit that's going on. I have a feeling that maybe the stepmothers had something to do with this, but we'll find out. So when they returned, I told them that I'm very hurt that they did not take me. My dad took me aside and told me that their finances were very tight, and this vacation was a gift from my stepmom's parents, and they only bought it for my dad, their daughter, and their own grandchildren, and not me. What did I tell you? Did I call it, or did I call it? It wasn't the stepmom, but it was on the stepmom's side of things. They were effectively guests, even though the grandparents weren't there. They just paid for it, and I wasn't invited, so I shouldn't act entitled. So what you're telling me is, to bring you, all they would have had to do was pay for you, because all of their expenses were covered. See, it sounds like a lot of excuses to me. I wasn't convinced. They could have just refused to go without me, paid for themselves, gone somewhere cheaper, stayed a little less long, or asked my mom to pitch in. She would have, is what it says, and she would have. Me not being there was exclusionary. If this was only about money, they could have made it work, so I told my dad that I was disappointed in him. Valid. So I came last night, and my stepmom's parents came over for dinner. The subject of the vacation came up, and everyone was talking about it, and I was just sitting there being quiet until I thanked them for doing such a nice thing for my family, while my dad looked at me in a frowning way. Everyone went quiet, and my dad tried explaining that I should have understood that this was a very expensive gift. I'm acting like an entitled brat, and I should go to my room if I can't behave myself. I said it doesn't seem like I belong anyway, and told them to enjoy your family dinner, and left. Oh, I love the pettiness. I love me some nice, juicy, deserved pettiness. Later, the grandmother came to my room and tried explaining that they gifted this to their grandchildren and couldn't afford to include me as well. I'm sorry, if you can afford a trip to Paris for 4 people, you can afford it for 5. Bullshit. You can afford it. If you can afford a trip to Paris for 4 fucking people, for what, a week or something, whatever they said, I don't know how long it was, you can afford it for 5. Like, bullshit. She said they initially only had the budget for 3, their daughter and grandchildren, but stretched themselves to 4 to include my dad as well. But while they wish they could have done it for me, they really could not stretch it to 5. So I told her my problem is with my dad. I have no beef with her, but she doesn't get to act like she cares about me either, and it's okay. I was like, I'm a stranger to you, and you don't care about me, so have some balls and put your big girl pants on and wear it to your sleeve. On your sleeve. Sorry, I cannot read. I asked her to get the fuck out of my room, and she left. I heard her telling my dad that I was very rude to her, so I'm grounded until further notice. Am I acting like an entitled brat? Am I the asshole? Edit, not that it's relevant, but my step-grandmother's comment about trying to include me was not being able to work out the budget was nonsense. They're very rich, and this was an excuse. She was taking me for a fool, but this is not relevant to me holding a grudge against my dad. I'm only specifying for clarity. Like I said, if you can afford a trip to Paris from America for 4 people, you can afford it for 5. The audacity. And also the fact that your mother would have pitched in to let you go if it was actually genuinely a money problem and your dad just didn't even make the fucking effort. I agree. Your father is the asshole. Your step grandparents are also assholes. And try to explain it that they gifted this to their grandchildren, which now includes you. Yeah. You are one of their grandchildren, even if not biologically. You are one of their grandchildren. That's just how this works. Your dad is the asshole. He should have at least talked to you about him going on this trip so that you could have had the opportunity to figure out how you'd be able to go as well. You even said that your mom would have helped pay for your way. It feels like your dad just didn't want you there. You don't accept that kind of gift if you can't also bring your kid when your stepkids are going. My step-grandma is kind of an asshole. She should have kept her gift to include only her daughter and her grandkids. When she extended the gift to include your dad, she should have then included you as well, as you are a direct part of that family unit. Yes, it's her money, she could do as she pleases, but it was a rude thing to do. But again, this circles back to the fact that your dad should have figured out a way to try and include you. Exactly. After seeing OP's edit to their post, I'm upgrading step-grandmother's assholery status from kind of to is, since OP said she's decently well off and could have easily afforded to also include OP in the gifted trip. Yep. If you can afford a trip for 4 to Paris, you can afford a trip to 5 to Paris. Not the asshole. That sucks, man. I've heard Paris is nice. Never been, but I've heard it's nice. Depending on the parts you go to. The tourist areas of Paris can be nice, is what I've heard. A nice hour of Reddit for the day. I plan on doing Stray speedruns tomorrow, but we'll see if that plan changes, because you know me. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do until the day we get here. But so far that is the plan for tomorrow. Is Stray speedruns.